What's up, everybody? My name is Ashton, and welcome to Muse Themes. Today we're exploring our brand new Shopify widget from Muse. Now, most of you are probably already familiar with the Shopify platform, but for those that aren't, Shopify is an industry leader in e-commerce. The Muse Themes website has been running on Shopify for years. Now, Shopify on their own is all-inclusive. They offer their own hosting and their own site templates, so some of you may be wondering, well, what is the need for our widget? Well, our widget allows you to seamlessly integrate the e-commerce and shopping functions of Shopify directly into your Muse website. Now, this is a great option if maybe you prefer to build in Muse, but you still want Shopify's rock-solid e-commerce tools. Or perhaps you already have an existing Muse site, but you want to add a fully functional store to it. Or even some of you may acquire new clients that already have a store on Shopify, and with our widget, this would allow you to integrate that store directly into your own Muse site build. Now, there are two different ways that you can use the widget. We have buy buttons and store. With the buy button widget, you can drop a button anywhere on a page in Muse. And this is useful for sites where you prefer to build out separate product pages or have single products spread out on the site. This option allows for more control over elements like images, description, layout, etc. But the store option allows for an easy drop-in store. Now, this will show all of your active Shopify products in one place. The store settings here are mostly automatic, such as the layout and images and text. And there are some styling options available, but this is a good solution for those that have a dedicated store area on their site and do not have individual product pages. So let's jump over to Muse. Here I have the project file from the live demo on our website, but I've cleared out the widget from the pages so that we can start fresh. So we're going to jump into our library. And when we click the drop-down for the Shopify widget, we get three items. We have a buy button, a cart, and a store. And as I mentioned before, the buy button and store are two separate methods for setting up the widget, and we're going to walk through both of them. However, the cart portion of the widget is required no matter what, so let's grab that first. We're going to grab our cart widget from the library, drag it out, and drop it onto our page. And I'm going to place it up here in this little header beneath our hero image. And it's probably good to start with the cart element first, as this is the component that actually links to your Shopify store. So let's open the settings panel. Our first two options here are what is going to link the widget to our Shopify store. We have store domain and storefront API key, both of which we're going to get directly from Shopify. So let's bounce out of Muse for a moment and drop into Shopify.com. Now, some of you may already have a Shopify account or store set up, in which case you're already set to go. But in the case you don't, let's do a quick account setup. And they do offer a free trial as well, which is helpful. So let's click Get Started. And we'll type an email address and a password and a store name. This can be whatever you want. I'll name mine Ashton Demo. And then we can click Create Your Store. We'll give it a few moments here. And now it's just going to ask a few questions about the nature of your store, and this is kind of to help them categorize everything appropriately. So I'll just do a couple quick answers here. And then finally, it's going to ask for some registration information, which I'll just type in some dummy info here. And then finally, we click Enter Store. Beautiful. Now we're logged in and all set up on our dashboard here. And right from the get-go, we're already able to access our store domain, which is one of the items needed in our settings panel. And you can always find this in the address bar of your browser. So if we go up to our URL, and it's not the whole URL needed, it's only the part after the two slashes, all the way through the .com. And you should recognize your store name in here that you entered upon setup. So we'll copy this, jump back to Muse, jump into the settings panel for our cart, and paste that in for store domain. It's that simple. Now let's jump back to Shopify once again. Now we need to get our API key. So to get that, we need to go to our left sidebar menu here, and we'll click into Apps. And then down here, there's a link for Manage Private Apps, so give that a click. We'll select Create New Private App. And then it's going to ask for an app name and contact email. Now, this doesn't really matter so much. It's more so for your Shopify admin. It's not going to actually affect the store functionality. So I'll just name it Ashton Demo and enter my email again. And then beneath that, we have some options here, which are basically permissions that you're allowing the app. So if you click the drop down on one of these, there's an option for read and write. You need all 4 of these to be read and write. So let's get that set up here. There we go. And lastly, we need to check this box that says allow this app to access your data using the API. So once we've got all the details entered, we click Save. And we'll get this little pop-up here, basically just reminding you to keep your API secret at all times. It's very important, so we'll confirm that. And there we go. Our API key is displayed by Storefront API, and we can easily copy it, just like that. Jump back into Muse, and we will drop that in our settings panel. Perfect. Next, let's talk about products. We do need at least a product or 2 set up in our Shopify portal here in order to be able to see our widget in action. So let's jump back to Shopify. And I'm not going to go into too much detail about the Shopify platform here for product creation because that could really be its own video or series of videos, but I'll create a couple sample products just for the sake of demo. And beyond that, make sure to explore the Shopify panel in depth to get a full scope of its capabilities. On the left panel, let's click to Products. And then we'll select Add Product. And here we go. So let's start with a title. I have a couple demo images in my assets folder to use, so I'm just going to make the first product a black hat. And then we need a description, so this can be anything you want. I'll just go ahead and type black baseball cap. One size fits all. Now let's upload an image. There we go. And lastly, let's give it a price. Perfect. And we click Save. And that's it. So we've added our first product. Now to save time, I'm going to go up here and click this duplicate button here on the top left. And we'll give it a new name. Let's go yellow hat. And click duplicate. We'll update our description and add our new photo. And we'll click Save. Perfect. And actually for this one, I want to add a couple of size variants. So let me remove the one size fits all from the description. And then we're going to scroll all the way down to Variants, and we'll click Add Variant. Now under Option Name, we can put Size, since we're doing various sizes. And then here in the option Values is where you can enter the different sizes that you want. Just make sure to separate them with a comma. So we'll do small, medium, and large. And then finally click Save again. Perfect. Now I'll duplicate this one more time. And this time we have a red hat. Okay. And we'll update our description again. Swap out our photo. And then click Save. Beautiful. Now if we click back to products, we can see our 3 products listed here for you to update anytime, which is awesome. So for now, we're going to leave Shopify so that we can check out our store from the Muse side of things, but remember to explore your portal here because Shopify's backend is fully featured and incredibly powerful. But let's jump back to Muse. And let's open the settings panel for our cart once again. And let's expand the styling options. First few options allow you to customize the button itself, so I'm going to make this a little smaller. We'll go 180 width, 40 height, and radius 0. You can also customize a border here if you wish. I'm going to set the border to 0 for now. And we'll leave the button color white, but let's change the icon color to black. And we'll go ahead and leave the icon margin alone, but let's change the font family to Proxima-Nova, since I already have some text in that font family placed on my page. And then let's make the text black and the size 16. Lots of options to customize here. Now let's incorporate our store portion of the widget here on the main body of our page. So we're going to jump into our library again. We'll drag out a store and drop it onto our page. Now let's jump into the settings panel here. No need for any API keys or domain names here. The store widget will automatically sync up with the cart widget. So once you have your keys entered in your cart, the store will function automatically. But we do want to change some styling. We only made 3 products, so I'm going to leave the column setting to 3. We'll also leave the color the same, but I'm going to decrease the size just a bit. We'll do 160 width, 34 height, and 0 radius. And we'll leave out the border, but we'll make the button color black to match our cart button. And for button text, add to cart is fine. And we'll leave the rest of the colors white, but let's lower the text size to 13. Beautiful. And that's it. Let's give this whole thing a preview. Awesome. All 3 products are now live. We have our cart button displaying here nicely. Our prices are laid out, and if you added any variants, you're going to see those options when you hover over the Add to Cart button. So everything's looking awesome. So real quick, before we wrap up, let's cover the Buy button option of the widget. So jumping back to Muse, I'm going to switch over to the product page of our live demo here, but first I'm going to select my cart widget that I've placed, and I'm going to copy it. Because don't forget, whether you're using a store or a buy button, the cart widget has to be present on the page for the functionality to work. So switching over to our product page, where I've already removed the pre-existing buttons, I'm going to paste our cart here on the top. Perfect. Now let's jump into our library, and we'll drag out the buy button widget, and we'll drop it here right underneath the product. Great. Now let's open the settings panel. First option is the product handle. Now this is how we're going to link it to the actual specific product. And again, we grab this from Shopify. So let's jump over one more time, and we'll make sure we're on our product screen. And to grab a product handle, simply click into whatever product you're looking for. So let's click into our black hat. And now we're going to scroll down to the SEO section at the very bottom. And if we look at the URL for the product, the very last part here is where you'll find that handle. In this case, it's black-hat. So you can either copy it or just remember it. And we'll jump back to our panel. And we'll enter that in. Perfect. You also have all the same styling options that we already covered, so feel free to play around with that. But I'm just going to give this a final preview now. And there we go. Our Add to Cart button is already shown, which is also linked up to your cart here on the top. Just give that a click and you're on your way. So that's our Shopify widget. Thanks again, as always, for watching. If you run into any snags, we're always here in support, ready to help. And until next time, have a wonderful day. Take care.